Hello, hello, and welcome to this episode of Show Me Yours. I am Rihanna Werner, your co-host, along with Jason Sheffield.
Hey, everyone.
And we are here with a treat. We have a really smart brain sitting on this couch, way smarter than Jason and I.
Absolutely.
And he's kind of fun. He does all kinds of really cool things with an extra large amount of microphones. We'll get into that too. But here next to me, I have Adam Weitzel, Business Law Group. And we have sparked a really good friendship. Our whole team has sparked a pretty awesome friendship with your team. And we've kind of been, like business buddies and stuff. And it all started with donuts. You guys would drop off. Bagels. Mm-hmm. You're right. They're round with holes.
That's true.
That counts, right? But you guys would drop off bagels every tax day, pretty much any tax deadline.
Every tax filing.
To us. But the thing is for a couple of years, you guys would drop the bagels and go. And never say anything to us. And we're like, who the hell are these people?
We were playing the long game.
Oh, you guys did. You guys nailed the long game. And so finally we tracked you guys down. And we're like, okay, you got to come in and say hi at least. Yeah. And here we are.
And it was bagels, not donuts, because we didn't want to give you a sugar crash right on a filing deadline.
That was really thoughtful. That was really, really thoughtful. So Adam, tell us, what in the world does Business Law Group do?
So we're a law firm that is exclusively focused on the needs of small and mid-sized business. And like I said, we do everything a small business needs and nothing it does not. So, a lot of it is contract review. We form and help organize corporations and companies, LLCs, operating agreements. We do real estate work, lease agreements. We do litigation, unfortunately. Businesses get sued. So everything your small business needs, nothing it does not.
What does a small business need when it comes to their legal matters? Like, what is there a core foundation set of?
There's a life cycle.
Okay.
Yeah, there's an absolute life cycle of a business, and like I said on the bagels, we do play the long game. I don't want to get in and just do one thing for somebody. I want to be there for the whole lifespan of their business. So for a lot of our clients, we either help them buy the business or start the business, and so we form it. And then usually one of the next things is, we've got to have a place to go. So we review a lease agreement, maybe start reviewing contracts. Sometimes we help them get employment things in place. But pretty soon, we're doing intellectual property to get them a trademark. And then the next thing we're doing is we're helping them grow into a new space or hire more people. It's just a whole business growth. But the ultimate goal at the end is, I want to be there when you sell it.
Yeah.
Buying and selling business is my favorite thing in the world. I'm an entrepreneur at heart. I love it. I've probably owned 20 businesses myself personally outside of the practice of law.
Wow.
And so I love it. And I know it kind of from that perspective, what it's like to just really engage in the entrepreneurial mindset. My favorite thing in the world.
And that's so rare, right? Normally, when you talk to an attorney or someone that's in law, they've never actually done the thing. And so that's such a unique piece that you're bringing to the market.
Well, it is. And here's a great example just today even. I was on a call with a client who was looking to buy business. And he got talking to me, and I knew every single player in it because I do this about 40 times a year. The attorney on the other side is going to do it maybe 7, 10 times in their career.
Yeah.
And I do this 40 times a year. So I know all the players. I kind of know where the deal's going to go. And usually I can navigate those channels pretty easily to get our clients in the best spot as quickly as possible.
Wow. That's amazing. You guys hear that?
I love it. Yeah.
That's so cool. Isn't it fun to geek out on what you do best, though, and know you're one of the best because you do it over and over and over again.
And it's not just because I've done it so much. It's because I love it. I literally started my first business when I was 8 years old. I got one of the silly story. I got one of those Red Ryder wagons, and I talked my dad into buying some spray paint for me, and I bought a stencil set at a garage sale. And I would go house to house, and for $8, I would spray paint their street address on the curb. And I was doing that when I was 8 years old. I know, I'm making money.
How much do you charge for that?
I know. By the time I was 17, though, I was making more money than my dad, which was phenomenal. I was running a landscaping business, a commercial landscaping business, at the age of 17 while I was still in school. So I've been an entrepreneur my entire life. I've owned auto repair shops.
So what was the pivot then to have a career as an entrepreneur and doing all this, but then also to go into law and to study and develop an entire business on that front? Can you give us a little bit of the backstory there?
So I owned an auto shop. I was working on a car and the client started it. My hands went through the belts and it broke my fingers up pretty bad. They were pointing kind of in the wrong direction 2 different ways.
Ouch.
And I couldn't work. And my wife's like, you should go back to school. I already have my college degree. So I went to law school. And I know it's the silliest story. My wife talked me into going to law school because I broke my hands working on somebody's car. And I loved it. And I was really good. And the moment I took tax, which most people don't think about, but I took the tax class and I knew right away, like, I love this. So I finished law school. I went to Georgetown and did my postdoctoral work in tax law and got a second tax degree, and then started working at big firms. And I was doing big deals and I loved it, the $1 billion deals, and it's fun and it's exciting, but it wasn't my passion. My passion's always been small business. So I tried bringing those clients into the big firm and it didn't fit. So after it was probably about 8 years of being in the big law firms, I decided I'm going to do this. And I opened up my own firm. And I remember sitting on the floor, I was putting together a bookshelf the very first day in this small little office that I was renting from a real estate developer, thinking, what in the world did I just do? Like, I just walked away from a phenomenal job that, 1% of the law students get into with big law, pays a lot of money, fantastic benefits, like everything you want. And I'm sitting on the floor putting together an IKEA bookshelf. Like, what am I doing here?
I had a very similar first day.
But the phone rang, and it was one of my longtime clients, and she said, I need you to review a lease agreement. And I thought, literally, like, I just covered my rent for the month. Like, I can actually do this. I brought about 90 clients with me when it was over. And it just took off because nobody does what we do. There are a lot of attorneys, but there are very few business-focused attorneys like that. So we kind of tripled in size the first year and the second year, and then doubled for a couple of years. It slowed down.
And how many years into it are you right now?
I'm 15. We just hit 15 years.
Congratulations.
It's kind of exciting. That's a big deal.
That is.
Yeah.
It was nice because they put big 15, anniversary things on my door, and we could take down the 50th birthday ones.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Why do you think attorneys don't specialize in business? What?
Couple things.
Okay.
One, math. Like, we went to law school and not medical school because we're not good at math.
Yeah.
That's really what it comes down to. But I love math. I love tax. But the second is, well, there's a couple things probably. One, it's hard. It's really intellectually hard. And not to say other areas of the law are not, but this one you really have to have a unique mindset in understanding people, understanding business, being able to help people kind of through the highs and the lows, to foresee what's going to happen in a market that nobody understands. And it's a lot of transactional work. It's not the fun, sexy litigation, criminal defense. We don't get paid on contingency, so we don't make a whole lot of money, for a little bit of work. We grind it out. So you really have to be passionate and you have to love what you're doing.
How have you found other attorneys that have the same passion that you have to be able to scale this thing? Because that feels like normally someone that's passionate like you, it stops with you and it doesn't scale on to your staff or to other people. So how have you created a culture that thrives in this way?
That was a huge challenge, and it still is. It's a challenge we face all the time. Most attorneys don't want to do this. So you take a small pool of hiring, which is attorneys in Colorado, and then you narrow it down to those who can do math. It's even narrower. The big challenge is finding somebody who wants to do transactional work. So not in a courtroom, but reviewing documents. Like who likes to review a 600-page contract? Nobody, but we do, and that's what we do. Or to draft it. Yeah, or to draft it. And then you've got to find somebody who not only enjoys that, but is able to connect with the clients and maintain those relationships. So they're just really two hard skills. That has absolutely been the biggest challenge is finding attorneys who can do that. But I will say I've got 2 stories that are kind of awesome on this. We're growing. We're starting to get well known. And I was probably at about year 8. I was at year 8 of doing this. And I got a phone call out of the blue from an attorney who was a partner at one of the nation's biggest law firms, like big law firms. And he's a partner there. And he said, I've been watching your firm for the last few years. My kids are going into middle school, and I want to go to a smaller firm where I can have more time with my kids. Would you mind if I came out and joined you? And I'm like, yes. Like, I have a plane ticket on your desk right now.
Yeah.
So I flew him and his wife out, and they joined us. So it was really cool to notice that there are other people who kind of want this, but how do you find them? It's a challenge.
That
It's
is a challenge. Wow. Yeah,
Mm.
it takes a certain skill set as well as, heart for this.
Yeah.
And you've got to have the combination of both. Otherwise, especially the passion in small business.
And the ability to relate to business owners, because business owners are different
Yeah.
from everybody else.
Absolutely.
And you know this.
Oh,
but
I do.
You can walk into a room or a party and you can spot instantly who owns a business, and I can talk to them for 20 seconds, 30 seconds, and we're going to relate in some way because we've gone through the same struggles or challenges, and they're things that most people never think about.
I know an entrepreneur before the entrepreneur knows it themselves.
Exactly.
There's been a few times like I've talked to an entrepreneur or I've looked at their resume. I'm like, that's an entrepreneur's resume. They just don't know it yet.
And on those same lines, I had a client, young guy. He was young. I think he was 23, 24. And he had built this business from scratch, just eked his way out and did a really good job. And we sold it for a couple $1 million. And he tells me jokingly at closing, yeah, I'm going to retire. And I laughed. I said, no, you're not. Because once you've done this, it's in
Can't
you.
stop.
And you're going to be back within a year. And sure enough, within a year, he came back.
Yeah.
We opened a new business. And because you can't stop. If that's who you are, if that's what you're kind of built to do, that's what you're going to do.
You're always planning the
Yeah.
next venture. And if you think you're going to stop, you're going to take one beat and you'll be like, I'm bored. Because you get used to the hustle and the grind.
Well, you do. And you wouldn't do it if you didn't love it.
It's
And so
true.
people say, what are you going to do when you retire? And I say, this is it. This is it.
Yeah.
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 I know we often joke, around here, just like you guys, we're not selling ice cream cones, right? Our clients come to us on their hardest day, their biggest
Exactly.
decisions,
Yeah.
right? And so on those hard days, those big decisions, we're there and we're stepping in, we're not stepping out. And it's heavy and it's trying, and we carry a lot of that weight for our clients too. And so Brian and I often joke that when we do retire, we're going to go and sell ice cream cones.
There you go. I'll go with you.
Something fun again.
Yeah, we're gonna go open up an ice cream shop, so you can join us in that venture.
Something that does not have just the heaviness, because I don't think people realize.
I want to put a smile on someone's face for a change.
I will jump here and say, though, that's one of the nice things about business law.
Yeah,
I call it clean law. It's kind of weird, but I'm not involved in the worst day of most people's lives. Nobody
Yeah.
goes to jail when we're done.
that's true.
Yeah, nobody's going to jail. Nobody's losing a family. Nobody's filing bankruptcy and losing everything. Most of what we do is positive in that sense that we're growing a business. We're overcoming a new challenge. We're hiring a new person. We're leasing a new space. We're doing something positive.
That's true.
On the litigation side, we do have things that are not as positive.
Yeah,
But ultimately, that's one of the nice pros of business law is it's usually client directed in a positive way.
yeah. I mean, the day you purchase a business,
Yeah.
one of the happiest
Or
days
you
of your
sell
life.
it, yeah.
Or you sell.
Yeah.
Exactly. Those are amazing days. I'm gonna come hang out with you guys on
should.
those days.
So I'm curious in this your perspective, and as small business owners, we know that you have to do so much on your own. You have to wear so many caps. But like we see on the people and money side of things, most small business owners aren't prepared to like really step in and own those things. Same thing with law. Most small business owners don't know the law. They don't know what they need to do. So there's this really interesting balance between being an entrepreneur of going out and doing it alone, and yet knowing at the end of the day, you can't do it alone and you need this team around you. How have you found that balance of like the pioneering piece, but also knowing that you need support where you don't have it all?
I've got experience on that both personally and with just thousands of clients.
Yeah.
Personally, my spirit is I'm going to jump in and I'm going to do everything and I'm going to do it as best as I can until I realize that I can't. And usually I've probably wasted a little bit of extra energy. But then I understand what's going on so I can converse with my professionals that I hire. But there are certain things you need to hire. You need to hire a good accountant and a good lawyer. And if you have those two things and a good insurance broker,
Yes.
if you've got those
you do.
three, you're probably going to be okay. But there are often a lot of things that people just aren't prepared to do. So figure it out, learn it, jump in and do it. But then I've got a lot of clients who call me up and they're more cautious. And I wonder, how are you going to be able to make those big decisions as a business owner if you can't figure out how to go set up a computer?
Yeah.
You know, because for the longest time, I was the IT guy. You know,
Yeah,
and people
us
don't
too.
get it, but we'd have a new employee starting, so I would show up at 4 a.m. so I could set up the computers, and I would cut and make the internet cables and do all of that so that we could actually have an employee effective at 8 o'clock in the morning. And part of it's you've just got to jump in and figure it out, but part of it is at some point you got to know when you're over your head.
Absolutely. We've gone through that too. I find it interesting in figuring out because, you know, when you first start off, your dollars are limited, right?
Well, I always joke, I've got way more time than I have dollars, so I'll figure it out.
Exactly. And so when we first started, it was the same story. I mean, we built our own websites. We built our own logos. We moved all this furniture into this office as you see it, you know. I mean, gosh, half of this furniture is from Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
it's limited. It's not like, and then we've got an interior decorator who offices next door to us. And she's like, so who decorated your office? And I'm like, me.
No, good. Be proud of it.
Right. But yeah, there's a lot of DIY. Now we're getting to the point where it's like, okay, our time is limited. Our capabilities are limited. And I hear Brian in my mind right now. He's like, where are we making the most dollars on our time investment? And I think about that quite frequently now because we have to. We have to think about where we're investing our time and what's going to bring in the best revenue for the business or profitability.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Attorneys, most of what we sell is our time. It's
Yeah.
access to our mind.
Yeah.
And we sell it in 6-minute increments. It's a terrible way to make a living in that regard. I speed when I drive because everything has to be done quickly. You know,
In 6
My
minutes
wife-
or
yeah,
less.
My wife's like, why are you always so rushed? And it's because I live my entire life measuring everything 6 minutes at a time.
That's us too.
Yeah, same
Yeah.
thing. And at some point you realize I've only got a certain amount of inventory of my time that I'm willing to sell.
Yeah.
And I can give some of that to carrying furniture, which I'm really not good at, but I will do.
Yeah.
Or I can maybe give some back to my family or my free times, my hobbies. But you've got to make that up somewhere. So be
You do.
efficient when you work and be efficient when you don't.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, before we go into the bucket, I have one more question for you. In your 15 years of experience, what would you say is the biggest risk that you see business owners taking or experiencing, legally speaking?
Oh, that's a good one. The biggest risk?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to break this down a couple different ways. One is I see a lot of business owners jump into businesses where they may have an operational knowledge, but not necessarily a business owner's mindset.
Oh, boy.
And you see that all the time, probably, too. Yes, I know how to run a restaurant, but I don't know how to own a restaurant. And so that's a big risk, is jumping from the employee mindset to the entrepreneurial mindset. That's a scary one, and you've got to make it work. That's going to, all of your success will hinge on that. The other big risks that everybody takes is I'm going to expand my lease, and I'm going to take more space than I maybe have.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to hire that employee that I don't know if I can fill up their time yet.
That's an expensive
They're
one.
scary. From my own perspective, you know, I was in this small little office. I was paying $600 a month. And I remember I moved into an office actually just right up the street for $1,500 a month. And I thought, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? You know, I gotta make a lot more money. It's 3 times as much almost. And I did. And it was within 2 years, we moved into a space that was $8,000 a month. And then next thing I know, it's $20,000, and now it's 40-something thousand. And it's just that's a big nut to crack every month. And so that's a big risk. I think people don't realize that never leaves your mind. That's always on my mind. And on the weekend, I'm thinking about what am I doing right now to cover rent and payroll and all the other fixed expenses. So I don't know.
It's a heavy way to go. You know, it's interesting. It's just the numbers get bigger as you grow.
Oh, it's
right. The numbers
scary.
always get bigger. Brian and I this weekend, we were sitting back and talking and reflecting on business. And we realized that this year, our monthly expenses exceed our first year marital income, annual income.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. And it's crazy.
I'm at the point where my payroll every 2 weeks now is more than my salary at a large law firm.
Yeah.
And that is scary.
It is
Oh my
scary.
goodness, it is scary.
It's a lot of dollars, and you're like,
Yeah.
holy moly, how in the world how the fuck did I get here?
Exactly. No joke. But that's kind of the courage that you have to have as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You have to be willing to say, you know what? I'm going to take that on, and it will always sit on a part of my brain, and I may be able to turn it off, or I may be able to shield it a little bit, but it is always there. You never get rid of that.
It's a
Well, and I
heavy
think
weight.
that's the piece that people don't talk about enough, is that it never goes away. Is you think it's there because you take the risk in the beginning and it's like it shows up, but it's not like it, once it shows up, it doesn't go away. Whether it's 600 or 40,000, it's still there.
It is
Yeah.
always there.
And it's like the numbers are so big, it's not like mommy and daddy can come and bail us out, right? Like there's no saving grace for us.
It's hilarious because my wife has no concept of it. Because I don't share any business details with her. Because I don't want her to have that stress. I don't want that
Yeah.
sitting on her. She wouldn't do well with it. And so someday she'll be like, oh, that cost $500. And in my mind, I think that's not even worth fighting over sometimes.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, we need to fight over that. I'm like, sweetheart,
Just go.
that's 2 hours of my time. It's an hour and a half of my time. I don't need to be distracted by that.
Yeah.
So for her, what is a material amount for stress is very different from what I carry.
Yeah.
It is. It is. There's a certain threshold for Brian and I. I know.
Yeah.
I know the whisk is coming out at that point.
Well, yeah. And it gets bigger. And as you grow, that number gets bigger, and you kind of forget what real dollars are at some point.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, because at some point it doesn't matter anymore. It's just like, well,
Yeah.
it's there, and it's shown up for you at this point so many times that it's not like it's gonna just all of a sudden just disappear.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go ahead and dive into the bucket.
Dive
I'm
into
excited
bucket.
to see where this goes.
So I
Yeah.
just pull one out.
Pull a question out,
Yeah.
read it, and we'll see where it goes.
And I feel like drum roll, please. Drum roll. Oh, this must be juicy. Are we gonna sing?
No, we're going to talk about last night.
Oh,
Yes, love it when it's relevant.
It's
were you
very
at a
relevant.
Coldplay concert?
Oh my gosh, that would be better. No, discuss a time you felt completely overwhelmed and thought your business was going to fail. How did you pull yourself out of that tailspin? So that is, I don't want to say weekly,
It is.
but it is.
It is.
So the most current one, and this is just silly, but we modified a marketing campaign, and we checked one little box that we hadn't thought about. But what it did was, in adding a new kind of a campaign to the existing one that we had that was working very successfully, it allowed Google to reallocate our dollar spends. And so all of a sudden, all of our marketing money went into something that was not proven, not tested, and was not geared to what we do. And it happened at the time where our marketing director was out of the office for 2 weeks. And so nobody was watching it. And so the next thing I do, I notice, I'm like, we don't have any new work coming in. And we had just hired 2 new attorneys that week. So I've got 2 brand new attorneys and no new work coming in. And we kind of had a little crisis of what's going on. And it was an easy fix.
Yeah.
But a 2-week speed bump when you've got 15 attorneys who aren't feeling very confident caused a lot of concern for me.
Oh
A
my
whole lot.
gosh.
And I went 3 nights without sleeping. I was getting maybe an hour of sleep a night. And ultimately, it came down to I knew I had the right people, and I had to just kind of take that stress and say, I can't carry that full time. I need to kind of compartmentalize it. I'm going to allow my brain a little bit of time to think about it, and then I've got to put it aside so I can be productive. And I've hired the right people. I'm not micromanaging them. I've got to trust them that they know their job better than I do. And marketing director got back from vacation, saw what was going on, made a few quick changes, and we're back on track. But that was a scary, scary moment where we've just taken the big risk of expanding by hiring 2 new attorneys.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I'm like, do we have any work?
Oh, I know those moments.
Yeah.
So take us through, because again, you've been through this multiple times, right?
Yeah,
in your
monthly.
experiences. What strategies or what practices have you developed for yourself that help you come out of those tailspins? Like, what does that look like? How do you set it aside? Like, give us a little bit more insight into that.
Sometimes it's really just grounding myself in why am I doing all of this? It's my family. It's, my health. And so I can exercise, go lift weights. That always helps. Ride my motorcycle. I think that's the best one. Riding my motorcycle, because you can't think about anything else. You've got to focus on the road. So I get on a long ride, and that helps. But a lot of times it's just going back kind of to the beginning and putting in the work to fix whatever I need to fix, or to show my mind, because my mind won't rest. I've got to really show my mind that I've done the research, I've done the work, I've put everything in place. The plan's going to work, and I have confidence it's going to work. I've done it before. So I've got to let it work this time. And sometimes you have to make really hard decisions. Sometimes you've got to make changes you didn't want to do. You've got to kind of live in that realm where you're okay being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But I've done my research, and I've put in the work, and I've got the right people. So if I trust in that, usually, and sometimes a sleeping pill will
Can do wonders.
NyQuil will knock you out.
Yep.
I think it's such a key point that a lot of times people glaze over, is that these strategies to get out of the overwhelm is to go from chaos to then getting comfortable again, versus chaos being uncomfortable for a period of time, and then in that finding the comfortability. But it doesn't just go from like one or the other. Like, it's actually being uncomfortable is part of the process, because you're trusting the plan, you're trusting that process to come through.
And you're going to be there all the time. So absolutely, you've got to become comfortable in that uncomfortableness.
Yeah.
You've got to know, I'm not a W-2 employee. I don't get 40 hours a week. I don't get a guaranteed paycheck. I've got to know that whatever happens, I'm going to pull myself out of it. I've got the work ethic, and I'm going to make it happen. And sometimes that means I come into work when I'm sick, or whatever else is going on. You know, I can't tell you how many years it was get the kids to bed and make sure the wife is happy, and then everybody goes to bed, and then I crank out the computer for another 2-3 hours. But that's what it took in those moments.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's what you have to do, is you've got to just say, okay, I'm going to marshal the assets I have. I'm going to try to create a little bit of organization from this chaos, and then live there while you trust it to work.
Yeah.
It's scary.
One thing I find interesting is Brian is the one who probably gets into the state of
The uncomfortableness.
fear,
like,
uncomfortable. Yeah. He gets into that state a little bit more than I do. And I find it's when he gets into the weeds. He starts, really going into the weeds and looking at the granular, the dollars, the pennies. And it usually is a particular situation that puts us into that place, right? But then when I pull him out and I'm like, okay, now let's look at not just this quarter's balance sheet and P&L. Let's look at the whole year's. Let's look at the goals. We're on track. We are meeting our goals, our projections, our dollars. We are right there. And that seems to help as well, because it's the plan. The plan is working. And if you stick with the plan, if you do have a good, solid plan, and you can go back and validate that it is working. The part that gets me is when the plan's not working. Then I go into my tizzy.
No, you raised an amazing point, and that is sometimes, we are hyper-focused on every little detail about this business, and sometimes I get so narrowly drawn into this one thing isn't working, but the rest of the plan is, and you have to pull back, you have to be able to look at it and say, okay, this project didn't make money, or this employee didn't hit it out of the park in this type of work. What's going on here? How do I kind of smooth that out? But ultimately, everything else is working. So just write it out or make significant changes. Sometimes you have to do both.
Yeah, absolutely. I find it interesting. I remember when I was we were brand new entrepreneurs, and we didn't have those benchmarks and those goals. We were just kind of winging it all. And we had no clue what was right, wrong, or indifferent.
Yeah, is this good or not? You don't know.
Yes.
We knew it. We thought we were doing okay, but it took us a little time to kind of get our feet underneath us and really realize, okay, this is good. This isn't working, and have that average to reflect on. So, okay. What do you think?
Let's dive into another one.
Let's
that
do one.
That was a great
All right,
question.
this was a big one, and that was hard. Let me see if I find a skinny one. This skinny
I like
one,
your
right?
strategy.
I don't know. Jason's
There's no strategy here. I mean, we'll see if it works.
Okay, so we got fat. I see where you're going. All right.
I love this question. All right. Show us or describe the weirdest or most unconventional item in your workspace that actually helps you stay productive or sane.
Hmm.
So I am a guitarist. I play guitar in a 90s rock band. I've done this my entire life since I was 15. And I have a guitar in my office that I bought from a really famous musician, 20 years ago. And I keep it in my office, and I can't tell you how many times something's bugging me or stressing me, and I can go over there and I can just kind of get it and play something or run through scales or, play some Guns N' Roses. And that'll just takes me to my happy place. The stress level comes down. It allows my mind to kind of clear and focus a little bit. So I think I have 8 or 9 guitars in the office, but I have one right by my desk.
And you pick it up and just start
I do. Well,
strumming along.
And sometimes I'll come into work and other people are playing it, which is awesome. So yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's like the community guitar.
Do you have many musicians in the office?
Yeah, it used to be on our interview questions, like what instrument can you play in the firm band? I used to have a drum set in the office.
Really?
We did a full drum kit.
Wow.
And we got in trouble. The landlord did not appreciate it, so we could only play drums after 6 or 7 at night.
Okay,
But yeah,
that's
no,
fair.
I think we've probably got 5 or 6 musicians. Yeah, it's kind of fun.
Okay, let's get into this interview question here. What if someone were to answer and say, I don't have a musical bone in my body, or the kazoo?
We're going to do lessons.
Yo,
You're
really?
gonna have to, you have to sit down. No, I'm kidding.
I love that.
Yeah, your hiring reality got a lot narrower. You got to do math and music.
I need an attorney, who can do complex tax law, but do you play bass?
Yeah, exactly. Can you sing?
That is brilliant. Okay, now we're really coming to hang out
There
at
you
your
go.
office.
You should.
Absolutely.
We have a good time.
Ree, what's an unconventional thing you have in your office that helps you?
That helps me. Gosh, I'm trying to think here. Well, I think first my office is just unconventional.
It is very cool.
It is. So I have a really old antique velvet couch that is just, it's kind of it's like wrapping a big old blanket around you in those moments of stress. There's some stressful moments where I'm just like, you know what? I've got a rocking chair. I made a big effort to make my office feel like a living room and make it very comfortable. So I've got a rocking chair. It's actually my grandma's old rocking chair.
that's very
And
cool.
so I've got that. And then I've got my step grandmother's old trunk that I refinished. And so I think just having the old kind of history and old love, like grandmother's loving on you in those moments. They kissed your boo-boos when you were little, and in those moments of really tough things upstairs in my office, they kiss my boo-boos still. So I just kind of go wrap myself in
sweet.
those. Yeah.
I mean, I've got a lightsaber too. But
That's badass. So yeah, it's I'm gonna go with those.
Yeah.
Just old furniture of love.
that's a sweet answer, though.
Well, thank you. I kind of like guitars better, though. Like a famous musician's guitar that you just randomly pick up, like it's no big deal.
Well, I was on tour with them, and I bought it from their stage manager, so yeah.
That
Really?
works.
Yeah.
Okay. See, you just made it even cooler.
It's a very cool guitar.
Oh, so what's your best song you play?
Oh, gosh. Okay. This sounds stupid. I can play anything.
Okay.
So I've played long enough and well enough that I can play anything. My favorite, anything from Led Zeppelin or Guns N' Roses, I'm all in. Anything from Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, all in. Maybe Soundgarden. Anything from Soundgarden.
I like
There you go.
Soundgarden.
Love it.
Nice.
I just saw the best documentary on Led Zeppelin. It has nothing to do with
I
this.
just
but
watched that on the plane.
Becoming Led Zeppelin?
Yes,
I
so
haven't seen it yet. Is
good.
it good?
Oh,
It's
it's
worth
so
it.
good.
It is.
I love Led Zeppelin.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's
It
got
was,
some amazing old footage of them too.
Yeah,
Like, just
so
the
good.
music.
it was wonderful.
They go into like 15-minute reels of some of their first concerts. And
I would love that. I would love that.
you got to
Yeah,
watch it.
it's
really
definitely
good.
worth
So I grew up in
Yeah.
LA. They played Los Angeles on the day that my wife was born, and so they've got a T-shirt that has the date in LA, and so that's my favorite T-shirt.
Really?
That's
I didn't know
awesome.
this in that documentary. I learned their very first American performance was in Denver.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, wow.
I know, so come
That was
back.
that was a great, totally random trivia. I picked up on that too. Like
Did
Led Zeppelin's
you?
first concert was
Yeah.
in Denver.
I was like, done.
Boom.
But it was a bust. It didn't go very well.
Yeah,
so they didn't. I don't-
relatively unknown.
Yeah. But no, all good stuff. Okay, we are just about at the time to wrap up.
Yeah. Let's do one more.
Let's
I
do
want
one
to
more?
do
All
one more.
right.
I'll give you all
Absolutely.
the time you need. All right. This guy right here. Oh, let me get this here. What is a trend you completely missed or dismissed early on that ended up being huge? What did that teach you about staying agile? Well, that's a good question.
Right.
That's a really good question. This is going to sound silly. No, that's not a trend. What's a better trend?
Here, while you're thinking about it,
Let's do that.
totally reflecting. So, full disclosure, you guys don't judge me here, but it wasn't a trend, but it was a huge significant happening. I blew off COVID at first, like when it was first coming. We even have a video on social media floating out there of me and my old colleague making fun of it. Because, at first when it was like COVID, before it was, COVID, it was called the coronavirus. Do you guys remember that?
Oh, yeah.
So we filmed ourselves like making fun of it. And we had a coronavirus kit. And of course it had Corona
Beers
in it,
in it,
and
yeah.
beers and stuff. So before the shutdowns or anything like that, it was still in China and stuff. We kind of blew it off. And we're like, oh, it's just a farce, whatever. And then all of a sudden it came crashing
It's a
down
real
and we're
thing.
like, oh shit.
This is real.
Were you able to get that off the internet? Because
We actually ended up leaving it up there. We're like,
Okay.
well, you know what? Like that was kind of the talk then before the shutdowns happened. It was a little bit of a blow off. And so we opted to leave it up and see what would happen. And we were itty bitty then. No one paid attention to us anyway. So no one cared.
all marketing's good marketing, or whatever they say.
Yes.
That's what
is
they
that true?
say.
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, who knows? I don't want to find out though.
No.
I would say one trend that we probably were a little slow on is, and maybe we're still ahead of most people, but adopting artificial intelligence. Lawyers love tradition. We still write in, old archaic terms,
Yeah.
That's true. You do.
Yeah, everything that we do is steeped in oldness.
Yeah.
And so when things like new AI comes out, it's kind of a weird thing. Like, do we jump on this? Are we on the bandwagon? Are we going to have to let go of employees because we're moving over? How do we remain agile? And that's something we've actually spent a lot of time on over, I'd say, the last 4 or 5 months. So we recently purchased an AI subscription that's designated just for attorneys. So it's a legal database AI model, and it's not the best model. We've got other ones that we use that are pretty good. But it's kind of revolutionized how we do legal research, and it's scary in that what are my employees going to do? What am I going to do? Pretty soon, we were talking about this the other day. The big fear that we all have is, are we going to go from selling legal services to are we simply being hired to review the AI work? And, so I think that's a big concern in that's coming. It's a change that's going to happen. And so we've kind of adopted the position. We need to embrace it and lead that change and kind of be on the forefront rather than being reactive. So we're trying. We hired a consultant to come out and actually teach us all how to use AI.
Oh, that's
I can hook you
awesome.
up. Phenomenally smart guy.
Really?
We started implementing it. I think we're being more effective, more efficient. We're getting better results. I actually won a case because we used AI to find legal research, and nobody else ever found this case. And it was like, hit it out of the park.
Whoa.
But at the same time, I keep thinking, am I the next one to get replaced? It's a big scare.
Yeah.
So you got to be agile. You got to figure out it's coming. I'm not going to be able to stop it.
Yeah.
So I think we're trying to be ahead of that curve, but it scares me. It scares me a lot.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's one of those curves where it feels like we're still very much in the early adoption phase of it. And the curve, we still don't know what the curve is going to look like. But to your point, we have to adopt that the curve is here. Like the shift is happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to kind of bring it full circle, I bill in 6-minute increments. So what do I have to do now to be financially stable? Do I have to sell 3 times as much work because I can do it quicker with AI now? Do I have to change my entire pricing model? Like,
Is
so
it value-based billing
we're
now?
moving to value-based.
Yeah,
So
that's what we're moving to too.
We've been working on this for about 1.5 years, and then AI kind of accelerated it and helped us draft our forms. But
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the thing. I think when you think of trends, that when these big disruptors happen, they open up new business models. And
do.
that's what we're seeing happen with the AI piece, I think, is that especially if you just look at like the SaaS world, right? Software as a service.
Absolutely.
Where you pay for a seat, and that seat, and the subscription models and predictable revenue and all this stuff that really the web internet-based businesses have been built on for the last 15 years. The way that AI is disrupting that is it's allowing for a new way to business to be done, like outcome-based business. So I was looking at one company that does customer service, where before you would have all sorts of different pricing models for how you deliver on customer service. And now with an AI agent that can deliver the customer service, the company is offering basically payment on completion of the AI taking care of the task. And if a human has to get involved, it's free.
Oh,
They're not charging you. So it's only charged if the AI completes the task and does the thing, and then that's how so a completely new way of looking at business because of what's happening. And I think that's ultimately, you look at Netflix, and what do? Is they disrupted how you got the movie. You didn't have to go to the Blockbuster anymore. It came in the mail.
Yeah.
And then it shifted into streaming, right? And they were able to pivot into a different model. And that's really what we're looking at, is just the disruption of business models.
Well, yeah, but we're both in a professional services industry. It requires a lot of intellect,
It
a
does.
lot of experience, and
Expertise.
a personal touch, expertise.
Yeah.
AI can replace most of that. Not all of it, but most
Yeah.
of it. And so it is scary because I don't want to be the farrier, the guy shoeing horses when Henry Ford walks in with something new.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You've got to be transitioning. And so I think value-based billing is the key. And I think efficiency, and what else do we provide? It's the relationship, it's the trust, and maybe the experience of saying, yeah, I've seen this before because I've got 1,000 clients in town, and we've seen everything that you're going to see before.
Yeah.
So, but it's scary.
I found, I'm pretty fortunate in the fact that because of some of the roles I play in the community, it gives me a lot of exposure. And so during that period of time in November of 22, when AI ChatGPT was released, I signed up for my account in December and started playing with it. And it's like, it was a newborn. It was wearing, newborn sized diapers, right?
Yeah.
And so I started playing with it immediately. And then I started, because I'm the chair of the workforce action team through the Pikes Peak Workforce Center, it was all the rage and all the buzz. And so we had to find out more on how it's going to impact workforce. And so I started talking with stakeholders and understanding its impact. And there's a gentleman who actually leads and has spearheaded a lot of the AI education in our community. He's down at Pikes Peak State College. One time he and I were talking, I'm like, how is this going to impact workforce? And he said, Rihanna, he said, AI is not going to take your job, but people with AI skills will take your job.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you have to learn how to use AI to your best advantage, because it's going to make you more efficient, more impactful in everything you do. He's like, you still have to tell that AI what to do. You still need to tell it He's like, think of it as another team member, right? And you're just coaching and guiding it to deliver what you need it to deliver. And I'm like, shit, I never really thought about that. And then ever since I've been using it in that way, it has really made me so much more powerful in the way I support our team, our community, our operations, our strategy. I think, but because I was in the right place at the right time, I got exposed early on. And
So you're leading that change. And I think you have to. That's the key. You have to lead the change.
Yeah. I mean, our team uses AI very heavily. And if you're interested, the BBB is putting on a whole entire AI summit. You should send a member or two of your team to go to
should
that.
do that.
It is phenomenal because Jonathan Liebert over at the BBB, he is a leading AI expert. Not to mention, he was just asked to head the AI task force for something internationally.
Yeah.
So
For small businesses.
for small business task force, something like that. I forget exactly what it is, but he's a wealth of knowledge.
I'm going to get that off. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll try to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I just use it to figure out which pickup truck was the best for hunting Bigfoot.
And what's
It's a
this?
Ford Raptor, if you want to know.
Okay, good
And-
deal.
And they did have a specific wench model that they recommended if Bigfoot was not being cooperative.
Hey,
So,
those are details
detail
that
I
would
would
have taken hours of research to figure out prior.
Right.
That now, with a prompt, we can figure it out right
Nobody's
away.
taken that job from me.
You are the official Bigfoot hunter.
When I retire from being a business lawyer, I'm going to hunt Bigfoot.
Love it.
While selling ice cream cones. Remember, going into business
Exactly.
together.
Yes.
I'll review the lease.
Okay.
Oh, wait, no, I won't.
You'll help me, get the trademark on the recipe or, trademark. Is that how it goes?
Trademark the name.
Yeah.
Yes.
Trademark the name. Copyright the recipe.
You
What-
could.
Yeah. There we go.
Mm.
Yeah. I'll put crack in it or something great like that.
Take a page out of Coca-Cola.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
it's the
Oh
Wild West.
It's
yeah.
coming back to pure sugar, though. isn't it?
Exactly.
They
We're
are.
coming
So
back.
good.
Yeah. I'm really excited for that.
Yeah.
All right, Jason.
Adam, thank you. Tell us and our viewers, how can they learn more about what you guys are doing? If our audience, small business owners want to work with you, how do they go about that?
Yeah. Reach out to us at businesslawgroup.us.
Okay.
It's .us because we're an American company.
Love it.
I'm all about American capitalism. So,
I love that.
we picked that on purpose.
Yeah.
But Business Law Group, that's what we do.
'Kay.
And we represent over 1,000 small businesses here in town.
Mm.
It's kind of cool. You can't drive 3 minutes in town without seeing one of my clients, which I love.
Yeah.
It also makes it hard sometimes because we're out in the community and my wife's like, we need to buy pizza. I'm like, well, you can go to these places, but not that place and not that place. And I can't tell you why.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah,
Cool.
businesslawgroup.us.
Perfect. Well, thank you. It's been wonderful learning more about you, having you in, and
I
really
love this.
appreciate
Thanks
it.
for letting me on.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us. And next time, please bring your guitar.
I will.
Yes,
I'll bring a
absolutely.
few.
Yes. Maybe you can teach me a couple chords.
We'll do it.
Yeah. All right. Everybody, thank you for joining us. Stay tuned for our next episode. We've got some great guests headed your way, including, we were just talking about Jonathan Liebert of the BBB. We got Brandon Eldridge
Yeah,
lined
at the
up
SBDC.
from the SBDC. So, and on top of that, in 2 weeks, we are
weeks.
on the official countdown for our launch party, our merger. We are merging both BRW and HR branches into one, and we've got some great surprises in place for the community there.
Yes.
So keep an eye on our social media for all the information. You're going to be there, right?
I will
Adam?
be there for sure.
So if you need some legal advice, don't talk to him then because I'll have a few drinks in him.
Yes.
Right?
It's a Saturday night.
I thought I was bringing the entertainment, but okay.
Oh, well, you can do that too. But until next time, we'll see you then. I'm Rihanna. This is Jason, and this is Show Me Yours.
See ya.